All right, so this activity is called net worth statement. So we talked about net worth when we did our Nearpod, and I either had you do the Nearpod yourself as self-paced, or you watched my video and did the Nearpod that way. But we talked about net worth, and net worth is your assets minus your liabilities. So basically, everything that you own, right, minus everything that you owe to somebody else. For this activity, you're going to think about yourself, okay, and figure out what your net worth is, okay, what you're worth to somebody. So we'll call this our personal balance sheet, where you're going to put all of your assets down and add up all of your liabilities and subtract them, okay? So, like starting out on a trip, you won't be able to get where you want to go until you know where you are. Some of the items on the personal balance sheet probably won't apply to you if you're still in high school and living at home. So, fill in the areas that you can. Okay. And I'm going to go through that with you as well, too. So, the first thing, your assets. Again, what you own. Okay. So, I want you to think about how much cash do you have right now? Okay. I'm talking about coins. Maybe you have a coin jar or cash in your pocket, like actual dollar bills. I want you to add that all up right now. Okay. Maybe you got to go look in your pocket for that or your piggy bank. I'm just going to say $100. Okay. Then, if you have a checking account, what I mean by this is at like Educators Credit Union or Johnson Bank or any other financial institution out there, maybe you even have a debit card that's in your name too, right? How much money do you think you have in your checking account right now? If you don't have a checking account, you can simply put zero, okay? Savings. Savings can be a CD, a savings bond, or a savings account. A CD is not like a music CD like back in the day, right? A CD stands for Certificate of Deposit, and it's a high interest savings account. And we'll talk more about this a little bit later. But if you already know you have a CD or even a savings bond, right, go ahead and put that down. Or if you have money in a savings account in a bank or a financial institution, you can go ahead and put that down too. I'll put 2,000 down for me, okay? Next one is life insurance, cash value of life insurance. If you don't know what life insurance is insurance that's paid out if you were to pass away. Okay, so for instance, Racine Unified has a life insurance policy that all teachers get. So if one of the teachers were to pass away, the people who take care of their estate, so if, you know, a teacher maybe is married, or it would go maybe to the parents of that particular teacher, right? If they were to pass away, so that if someone were to pass away, it can pay off their living expenses. So maybe they owned a house, right? Or owe on a car, or just have like a bunch of debt and different things. That money would go to help pay off some of those death expenses, okay, including a funeral. So if you think you have life insurance, right, you can put that down. Maybe you might want to ask a parent or guardian if they have life insurance on you. Most young people probably don't have life insurance at this point because the likely chance you're going to pass away is very slim. Okay. I'll put down zero for this sample. Now, this is the one that's going to take you a minute. Okay. Personal property. I want you to think of the market value of maybe a car, jewelry, bicycle, computer, phone, all of the stuff in your room that is yours. Anything that would be personal property that you could take a Sharpie marker to and put your name or your initials on it, that it's yours and yours only. I want you to think of how much that would be worth. And when I say that, I want you to think of what's called the market value. And the market value means, you know, when you buy a new iPhone and it's like $1,100 or $1,500 for that new phone, right? But like 2 years later, you couldn't sell it to somebody for $1,100 or $1,500 because they already had two new phones since then, right? So the market value means what it would be worth right now. Like think if you had a garage sale or if you sold it online to somebody. How much would all of that stuff be worth? Think about your shoes, anything that might be in your closet, anything that's in your drawers or under your bed. Maybe you have a TV in your room. Maybe you have stuff in the garage like a bicycle. Maybe you have your own car because you're driving right now. That's yours, right? You're not driving the family van. You're driving your car. Add all of that up. Okay. And you can do a rough guesstimate. Like, I'm not going to go into your room and add all of the stuff up myself, right? But I want you to think about, what would your personal property be worth if you were to put it all out on the lawn and have a garage sale? Okay. So I'm going to say $5,000 just as a sample. All right, next one, money owed to you. What do I mean by this? Let's say you went out to eat on Friday with your friends, right? And they said, "Hey, man, can you get my lunch this time, and I'll get you next time." That means your friend owes you money. We call that an asset when someone owes you something. Maybe you had a parent or a brother and sister, and they borrowed some money from you recently, right? And they're going to pay you back. They're actually going to pay you back, right? That would be money owed to you, and we call that an asset. So if anybody owes you money, I want you to put that down. So I'm going to say I loaned my sister $200, okay, and she's going to pay me back. Okay, next one, investments. And we're going to talk a lot about this a little bit later in the semester. But investments are like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, a retirement account. If you have any stocks or bonds or anything in your name, you can go ahead and put that down on here of how much money you have in like stocks or bonds or mutual funds or retirement account. My guess is, unless your parents have invested for you, which you could ask them if they have, you probably don't have a lot of investments right now being under 18 or just 18. Okay. So I'm going to say 0 for me. Okay. Anything else that's not covered that are things that are assets, things that you own that I couldn't think of. Okay. I want you to go ahead and put that down here under other. Okay. Now, if we look at this, right, the computer in the spreadsheet automatically added all of this stuff up for us. It added up our cash, our checking account, our savings account, personal property. It already added everything for us, right? So I have a total assets of $7,300. Okay, that's how much all my stuff is worth. Okay. Now, liabilities. Now that's what we're going to do next. So remember, net worth is our assets, our green, minus our red down here equals our net worth, how much we're worth. Okay. So liabilities, what you owe. This is what you owe to somebody else. So the first one, a credit card balance. Now, I don't want you to think of debit card because a debit card works differently than a credit card. When you pay for something with a debit card, it comes out of your checking account right away as soon as you swipe it or within the same day, very soon. Okay. Credit cards, you put it on a credit card, your purchase, and then you have to pay it off 30 days later when you get your bill at the end of the month. Okay. So credit cards are a little bit different. And you probably don't have a credit card in your name unless you opened one up with a parent or guardian, because credit card companies cannot solicit students or people under the age of 18 to open up a credit card. Now, I did have a credit card when I was younger because I did in some international travel. So my parents signed me up to get a credit card, but it was also in their name. So you might have something like that. But if you don't have any credit cards, it's okay. Just put 0 on here. Okay. Next one, installment loan. So for instance, maybe you have a car loan, a furniture loan, any other bank loan, and you have a balance that you still owe to somebody. Okay. This could be not even at the bank. Maybe your parents bought you a vehicle, right? And you've been paying them back monthly, or you pay them back when you can. I want you to think about that. Do you owe any loans to anybody or any bank? Most likely you probably don't, right? But if you do owe money to somebody, right, or a bank or something like that, you can go ahead and put it down on here. Okay, let's say I owe $2,000 on my car for the sample. Next one, a personal loan balance. Kind of like above where I said money owed to you, a personal loan balance means you owe money to somebody else. So maybe you borrowed $100 from a family member, or you owe lunch to a friend because they spotted you last week for that lunch. Okay, so think about, do you owe money to anybody personally? That would be called a personal loan. Let me say I owe $25 to my friend for dinner last week. All right. Mortgage, we haven't talked a lot about this yet, but a mortgage is a house loan, so a loan on a house that you own. Let's just say I don't have a house loan right now. Let's say I rent. So I'm going to put 0 down. And unless you're paying the mortgage on your house, you're probably going to put 0 too. Education loan. This is like college loans, right, for going to school. If you have a college loan, which you probably don't, being 18 or under, right, you could put it down there. I'm going to say 0 for the sample. Next one, anything else that you might owe to somebody else, any other monies that you would owe to something. So my example down here is student in my last semester had a speeding ticket. So they got the ticket, right? They went to court and they had to pay that off within, I think it was like 30 or 60 days, right? So that was money that they owned for getting a speeding ticket to the government. So she considered that a liability. Okay, so if you have any speeding tickets or you owe money to anything else, I want you to put that down there too. Okay, so our total liabilities are $2,025 in this sample. So net worth, right? Assets, $7,300 minus $2,025. Our total net worth for this sample is $5,275. And the computer did that for us, okay? Now, for your assignment, I don't want you to use my numbers. I want you to really think about your numbers, okay? Now, if you happen to make something up or did like a really good guesstimate, of course, I'm not gonna go like back and try to check that on you. I'm mostly looking to see if you could add these up correctly in the spreadsheet, right? If you put down your assets and your liabilities and it balanced down there at the bottom, okay? Wednesday is asynchronous, so if you need any help with this assignment, just give me an email and we can set up a time to meet, and I can walk you through this activity. If you already turned in the activity, right, you might want to go back and double check after watching this video that you did it correctly.